my presentation now, I'm going to get into more of, I suppose, the business side of things, leadership. And again, it reminds me of when I launched Your Future Now. And Your Future Now was launched at the beginning of a global financial crisis. And everyone told me, Matt, you're nuts. Coaching is an intangible, an intangible service. People aren't going to kind of want coaching, and what are you doing? You're crazy. And for me, I'm pretty stubborn. So back then I was like, you tell me something I can't do, I'm actually going to do it. And I decided to get like a bit of a crisis plan in place. And what I did actually really worked. And I want to share some of those things with you right now. And so the first thing I noticed, being trained in hypnotherapy, is suggestions. Hypnosis really is suggestion, or the ability to follow suggestion. And so there's a lot of suggestions that are coming out at the moment, and a lot of it is doom and gloom. In fact, majority of the time you turn on the news, it is doom and gloom. The challenge is that often we can take on board suggestions from authorities uncritically. So I decided in the previous crisis was to really protect my unconscious mind. And I think that's what you could be doing at the moment, is I really decided, okay, I'm going to limit the suggestion of doom and gloom. So this is what I'm telling my clients at the moment is, sure, be watching the news, but don't obsess over it. Maybe find a reliable source, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night, and really protect what's coming into your unconscious mind. Because again, if you're setting up the game where you're dependent on an external structure, or you're stuck in stress or anxiety, it's going to eliminate the ability to create. If you remember what I just shared with you previously, wounded self, best version of self, and mission, like if you're a leader, if you're stuck in wounded self at the moment, it's going to be really, really tough. Like for coaches, if you're trying to build a business from wounded self, it will literally be very, very tough. The proverbial pushing kind of shit uphill. Really tough, because you attract your wounds all day, every day. Best version of self, when you're hitting that, when you're kind of facing your wounds, turning them into your superpowers, it gets easier. But when you hit mission, what happens is that you have a bigger vision, a vision that is bigger than you. And it is magnetic. And that's where people actually come to you. And so all leaders, I believe at the moment, if you're a business owner, if you're a coach, if you're a parent, if you're a change maker, what's required is to help you get to the mission phase as fast as possible. And one of those ways is to ensure that you're actually hanging out with people that are at the mission level. And so that's what I did. I limited my exposure to the news. I worked out reliable news sources. And then what I started to do is I invested in myself. And that's what most people don't. My suggestion is that you double down on mindset work. So if you do morning rituals and prep yourself or prime yourself to get out there and create, do it twice a day instead of once a day. If you're around wounded people, I'm like shielding myself at the moment. I'm like, if you've got these wounds, I'm not wanting to take them on board. I'm here to help you, but I don't want you to passionately pass on those suggestions to me at the moment. So I'm limiting that. I'm putting boundaries in place. What I did back then was I got my coach and I worked with them, weekly instead of fortnightly, monthly. So I doubled down on all this stuff. I surrounded myself with a tribe of mentors, people that are playing at the mission level, and things started to move. And what started to happen was as I moved out of wounded self. And remember, when you're at wounded self, there is, you're in the past, either a negative emotion, anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, or you could be stuck in the future around anxiety. And think of anxiety. Anxiety is like thinking of the worst case scenario, obsessing over the worst case scenario. There's a challenge with that, because you can obsess over things, right? You can obsess over a car. And you've had this experience before where you obsess over a car, the make, the model, the color, and you see that car everywhere. Or conversely, you can obsess over problems. And I guarantee you, if you obsess over problems, you will see them absolutely everywhere. However, if you obsess over opportunities, I guarantee you, you will see those opportunities. What's always wrong is there, so is what's right. A little Tony Robbins kind of mantra there for you. So now is the opportunity, I believe, to become leaders. As I said to you, I had that experience where I was like, oh my God, everything I learned from doing NLP when I was 12 years old, getting rid of anxiety and all of those types of wounds, to getting out and launching my business at 19 and being free, even though I was so tough with wounds in my face, to facing my fears of public speaking, to share a message in a big way, to launching businesses without tech, to launching businesses in a global financial crisis, and to really fundamentally almost starting a movement with Live It Now. And I think now is the time for this. If we look at the world and what's happening, everyone's going indoors at the moment. Everyone's kind of isolated to a degree, but at the same time, we're not. We have this powerful connection, which is the internet at the moment. And if you look at most businesses, they are having to go online. They are having to, like the education system is being forced to evolve. Businesses are being forced to evolve at the moment. And I often liken the metaphor at the moment, there's been a mass extinction happening. And there has been a mass extinction happening probably for the last 10 years in the business world. The government's even said it. Through this kind of experience, 250,000 businesses will probably not survive. So the metaphor is there is a mass extinction. And the challenge is that if you're a leader, your business will never outperform your psychology. A business never outperforms the psychology or skill level of the leader. Whereas most leaders, they don't invest in their psychology. They don't invest in upskilling. They don't evolve. They typically blame the market or blame their staff or even blame their customers. But we've really got to stop that right now. We've got to stop the reasons. We've got to stop the excuses. And we've got to shift to the mission phase as fast as possible. And what that is going, okay, I need to change. I need to evolve. I need to become more creative. I need to be more certain. If you think the greatest leaders have an internal sense of certainty, in a time of uncertainty, in a time of crisis, people gravitate to certainty. And so that is the key. And a leader is fundamentally a visionary. And a visionary is someone that has a vision that is playing over and over and over again on the movie screen of their mind. They're playing a vision of possibility, not impossibility. And so now is the time of the passionate entrepreneur. It's the rise of the passionate entrepreneur. It's the rise of leaders. And this is what I want to help you do. I want to help you get out of wounded self. I want to help you release the anxiety, to look at the wounds that are coming up. What a lot of you may or may not realize at the moment is that with this mass hysteria, this mass energy, we're able to release things at such a deep level. The results that I'm able to get with my clients at the moment would sometimes normally take years, but because there is this kind of pressure where that we can't hold stuff in at the moment. Like typically people use TV or they use food or they devices or drugs, all that type of stuff to keep it in pack, to keep the wounds in. Well, a lot of that stuff's not working. And so there's a great opportunity for you to release stuff at a deep level. There's a great opportunity for you to develop an internal sense of certainty. There's a great opportunity for you to build a new vision of possibility and tap into a new level of creativity and help people create. And if you're on this call, this is what this is about inspiring you to do the work. Let's shift from wounded self as fast as possible. Even if there's just a few things there, let's shift it. Let's help you clean up your house at the moment, like best version internally, best version externally. And let's, all the stuff that you put off, now's the time, the opportunity to do that stuff. And let's shift you into a mission. And let's surround you with other people that are at that mission level. And so that's what I did. There was a crisis going on and I decided, okay, I need to shield my unconscious mind. I need to put a community in place, a tribe in place that are thinking differently, and I need to do it regularly. The other things that I started to do is I started to realize that in this moment, everything has changed. So business owners, this is what I want to say to you is that everything has changed. Everything you know about business is potentially different right now. Okay, because in a matter of weeks, your customers or your potential customers, their needs and wants have shifted almost immediately. And so we've got to treat your business, whatever business it is, small business, a larger business, we've got to treat the business like it's brand new. And so what did I do? I just reached out. I reached out and I did this with my business, Your Future Now, the Troublemakers kind of right now. This is what I've been doing the last couple of weeks is I just reached out and I went and helped. I went and helped as many people as I possibly could. I'm not caring about money at the moment. I'm not caring about all of that stuff. Now is the key. That will come later. Now is the key to be able to reach out and to use your skill sets to be able to make a difference. And so I laid all of my skill sets out and I'm like, well, what am I really good at? Well, I'm good in a crisis. In fact, I am great in a crisis. You want to be around me in a crisis. Okay. I really lift. What else am I really good at? I'm good at mindset work. I am so good at mindset work. I can help people release stuff very, very quickly and tap into new levels of creativity. What else am I good? I'm good at sharing a message. I'm good at coming up with ideas. I'm great at coaching. I'm great at teaching this stuff as well. And so what do I have at the moment that could help people? What are my resources? And I looked at my team and I was like, okay, well, definitely my mum. She's amazing. Like my biggest inspiration. She's unbelievable. So I'm like, this immunity tonic that she has, and I've watched this, people just don't get colds. She never has a cold. And I was like, okay, we need to stock up on this immunity booster stuff. So we created this immunity booster approach, which is, okay, a check-in, immunity tonic, immunity meal plans. And then I was like, what else do we have? Okay, mindset. Well, I've got a really great technique to help people release anxiety. It takes seconds or minutes, I should say, and then tap them into a new level of creativity. What else? What else? I was like, okay, Michael Adamides, the Eckhart Tolle of Australia, talking on peace and consciousness and having a bigger world view. I think that's really important for everyone to hear that and to use breath. That's incredible to energize the body. Of course, Miranda, amazing. I was like, okay, people are locked up at the moment. Some wounds and patterns could be coming up around relationships. And so I thought, I'm going to bring this tribe together. Now, what's inspired all of this was me just helping, was me reaching out. And I reached out in a personal way to people. And I sent them a message and I said, how can I help? What do you need? I'm here to support you. And then I just started just serving and making a difference. As I said, forget commerciality. Let your passion shine through at the moment. And that's what I did. And I started doing session after session, 15-minute course, 20-minute course, helping people release anxiety, finding out what people wanted. And then this elite kind of leaders or light workers concept came about of us coming together and shining a light and helping you guys and bringing you together and say, well, let's catch up weekly for the next 90 days. Let me bring my team of mentors and let's work together. Let's work together as a tribe to be able to shift from wounded state or wounded self to best version of self and then shift into mission. And so if you're a business owner at the moment, please take some of these concepts. We need to get you out of any anxiety or fear as fast as possible. We need to help you with a new vision of possibility. We need to reach out and connect with people, see how we can help, use our superpowers, okay, and make a difference. We need to look at where we need to evolve at the moment, and we can see this. Everything is going online. And so this is really, really important. The excuse of, oh, well, I don't understand technology or, I'm not good at that it's just not going to work in this environment anymore. We've got YouTube, which is the most incredible education channel. You just type in a question, you get 50,000 answers. We've got the information at our fingertips, but what would stop people executing this information is their wounds. And this is what I say, when you get your mind right, when you're back in present time, then you start to create your future and you start to do it now. And so these tips are really important. Now let's look at where the business world is evolving to. As I said to you, there's a mass extinction that's happening at the moment. And this is leaders that aren't willing to change and have a different worldview. It is leaders that aren't willing to be creative, to do things differently. As Miranda said, having behavioral flexibility. It's leaders that are not willing to embrace the new world of technology and a new world of what I believe is results. What people are after is not more information. What they are after is results. They're not even after, like the old model, which was, oh, the university education, all of these degrees. In my experience, especially in the small to medium business, and I'm also presenting at Macquarie University on business as a part of the entrepreneurship diploma these days. In my experience, people are not after more information. They're after information that will get them a specific outcome. So if you're a coach, if you're a change maker, if you're a leader, any service-based business, these three things are really important. Number one is, what is the problem that you can solve better than anyone else, and choose one. Number two is, once you work out what that problem is, go deeper. Okay, look at an unconscious level. What is the story that is playing around your customer, potentially of the worst case scenario? You want to understand what the stories are, the stories that trigger, because those stories, when they are triggered, that's when people listen. If you look online, there's a whole lot of noise, okay? But what people want is to solve problems. If you think of a business, that's what it is. We become really incredible at solving problems as fast as we possibly can. And that can be problems with staff, problems with your customer, problems within yourself. And so the faster we're able to solve these problems, the more successful that we're going to become. So if you look at what's happening in the world at the moment, again, there are new problems that are emerging right now. Some of the problems is a lack of certainty around health. There's mindset problems around stress and anxiety, and there are also problems around income. Like, there's such a degree of uncertainty in the job market, especially at the moment. But again, you can see this has been happening over the last 10 years. We've got technology at a point where it is rapidly replacing roles. This is a mass extinction that's happening. And so people need to upskill. Okay, and unfortunately, often it's not the university structure that is going to work, because a lot of it is outdated. Not all of it, but a lot of it is outdated. So we're seeing a trend at the moment that is happening to shorter courses that are based on results. So if you're sitting here and maybe your job is very uncertain at the moment, that's an indication that you're putting certainty on another structure. What's required for you and your family right now is to take a leadership position and go, okay, I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to transition from wounded state, because if I'm in wounded state, you're going to have the mantra, I don't know, or I don't know what to do, or whatever it is. That's just telling your wounded self. We need to get you to best version. Okay, and then we need to transition you to a mission. And how we do that is by doing the work, not doing it solo, by getting a team of coaches, a team of mentors to support you and to help you shift. Okay, then we need to look at, well, what are the wounds that I've overcome in my life? Because if you look at the wounds that you've overcome, typically that's what you can help other people do. And it's okay if you can't see this stuff, because you won't see it if you're stuck in wounded self. But I'm going to help you with some tools to get out of that. And when you get out of it, that's when the creativity comes. Like, most people want creativity up front. It doesn't happen that way. It happens when you're on the journey. And so if you've got some knowledge right now, okay, or if you have a genuine desire to help people, to make a difference, there is a rise of virtual coaching right now. Being able to coach and help people from the laptop, like here, or virtual workshops, being able to share information that has been profound, to be able to take all of your information and to look at those three things, which is, number one, what is the problem? Number two, what is the result? And the result is just the opposite of the problem. And then number three, once you have those two, or you have the answers to those two questions, then you can construct an offer. Because again, if you can help someone overcome a problem faster than you can do it yourself, than they can do it themselves, then they're going to be engaged and they're going to be so interested. And it's okay at the moment. What my suggestion is just go out and help people. Go out and help people and make a difference. And we can help you do that. Like, if you don't know what business that you need to be in at the moment, like, coaching is the greatest first step. We've got a program called the Accelerated Coach online program. It gives you a business where you can get out there and start helping people. We've got the Accelerated Online Speaker program, which is to run masterminds and to how to create masterminds, how to market masterminds. We've got the tools if you need it. You know, like, the thing is, as I said to you, it's time to upskill. It's time to learn. It's time to take a leadership position, and it's time to work with a whole group of leaders. And so I'm going to transition my presentation now into kind of mindset. And so we might bring up the next slide. I want to talk to you about anxiety, because this is a big one. Anxiety is a habitual, you may want to write this down, it's a habitual process of thinking about the worst case scenario. And what can happen is that we can obsess over stories. Okay, often I find you're either stuck in the past, reliving the past, okay, wounds or past stories, or we can be stuck in the future thinking about the worst case scenario. The challenge is that if you're stuck in the future, obsessing over the worst case scenario, you're going to see it. You're going to delete every other opportunity. It's going to drop your creativity, and you're almost going to be paralyzed. And I see this with a lot of business owners at the moment. They are paralyzed. Okay, and again, that's an indication of being stuck at the wounded self. Alrighty, so I want to help you today get out of wounded self. What do you guys think? You may want to type yes, so I know you're hearing. What do you guys think? Yes, yes, yes. Here we go. Look at this. Awesome. So I'm going to teach you a really quick tool, everybody. We're going to do it together in like a group meditation. So you might need to turn the volume up. And it's such a simple kind of meditation that you can do it with other people. So you can go and help others release some anxiety at the moment. Alrighty. Now, again, anxiety, please write it down, is the habitual process of obsessing over the worst case scenario. The opposite of anxiety is excitement. So instead of being stressed about, worried about the worst case scenario, I want to help you get excited about your future. And when you're excited about your future, you create your future. And the key to creating your future is to get back here and now. A really kind of a great, I suppose, statement that has been profound to me, and I'd love you to write it down, is that anxiety is a signal from your unconscious mind to focus on what you want. So please write that down. Anxiety is a signal from your unconscious mind to focus on what you want. Not focus on what you don't want, to focus on what you want. So we've got to look at the thinking process of anxiety. Now, the thinking process of anxiety is you're here, imagine you're here, I hope you can see that, and you're thinking about the worst case scenario here. Okay? And so typically you're creating a movie, and it can have a picture or a sound, okay, a full experience. So of course, when it comes to anxiety, we want to create a new picture, a new experience. So typically we go past the thing that has been holding us back. Now I've got a graphic for you. Okay, so let's bring that graphic up. So Em, do we have the graphic?
Sorry, Matt, the graph's in the manual. It's not on the
graph's in the manual. Okay, guys. So grab your manual, and you should see. In fact, I don't know if I've got a copy of it at the moment, but you should see in your manual that we shared with you. It's basically a timeline. You can see the timeline, and you've got present time. Okay, I hope I'm explaining this for you, everybody. You've got present time here, and then you've got this event of thinking of the worst case scenario. Okay. What we want to be able to do is move past the event to the successful completion. Okay, so past the event to the successful completion. Now, while we're doing this, we might be able to get it up on screen for you. So really what we're doing is changing the story, everybody. Please write that down. We're changing the story from being powerless to being powerful. That's what we're doing. We're changing the story from being powerless to us being powerful. Typically when we hold on to negative emotions, it's because we're playing the stories of the past of us being at the effect side of the equation. And what that means is that we're potentially blaming someone or blaming the situation on circumstances. So what we want to be able to do when it comes to past stories and future stories is to move from being at the effect side of the equation to being at cause. And so if you think about it, when you're at the cause side of the equation, here we go. Fantastic. So the anxiety release process, you can see on screen, you've got the past, you've got the now position, and then you've got the event in red. Now the event in red is the worst case scenario. So normally we look at the event from the now position to worst case scenario. But with the anxiety release position, we are going to do the opposite. Isn't it interesting? All that we need to do is the opposite perception. Okay, projection is perception. So what if we project the event in a different way, from a different position? And so that's exactly what we're going to do. So you can see, we're going to do a visualization process, and it's okay if you don't see pictures, everybody. It will work. We can float above the emotion. We can float above the sound. We can float above the picture. And you're going to go into the opposite position. So you can see you go from the now position past the event in red. So past the worst case scenario, and then you turn around and face back towards now. So you'll notice that you're at your future looking back towards now. Now that is the opposite way of thinking, everybody. So you blow the pattern. Remember, anxiety is that you've got the habitual process of thinking of the worst case scenario. So this is really awesome. I've had profound experiences with clients that have suffered from anxiety their entire life. And I've just systematically got them to work out, okay, what are you anxious about? And let's go through the list. And let's just change the thinking process so that you start to think about what you want, or think about the successful completion versus thinking about the worst case scenario. Now, if you take my belief, which is wounds become superpowers, what if these wounds that are coming up, they're designed to teach you, they're designed to get you conscious, but sometimes we've been distracting ourselves from this stuff with TV, with drugs, with alcohol, with jobs that we hate, or the addiction to doing, everybody. I know some of you are there that are addicted to doing. You're running so quick, and then suddenly you stop and you're like, oh, what's all this stuff coming up? So this is profound to get you off those false targets. Now, to me, a false target is you're making decisions from your wounds. You're stuck on that merry-go-round, addicted to doing, distracting, kind of thinking, oh, one day I'll get there. And the unfortunate thing is that if you make decisions from your wounds, you repeat them, and you never get off that treadmill. Versus a false target, what happens is that we drop this stuff. Instead of, having a mindset that is full of stories of what you don't want, we create space to start to think about what you do want. So here is the process. You start at the now position. We work out in detail, what are all the things that you're obsessing over at the moment that are in the future, the worst case scenario. We work out, how that makes you feel. And then we choose the number one. And the number one that has the biggest amount of intensity, okay? And we get conscious of it, and then we move past it all the way out into the future. And then we turn around and face the event from the opposite position, and you watch what starts to happen. So let's jump into the process now, everybody. So take a deep breath in and out. I'm sitting up in my seat as well. Have a big sip of water and just get ready. So you'll notice in your book or your notebooks at the moment, you can just have a brand new sheet of paper. I want you to write a list, everybody, of all the things that you're feeling anxious about right now. Okay, so a specific list. So just detail it. Okay, I'm feeling worried or anxious about this. I'm feeling worried or anxious about this. And just write a list of 5 to 10. I'm going to give you like 90 seconds to do this right now. And just writing out the list of all of the stories that you're obsessing over, the things that you're worried about that might happen in the future. I've been sitting down with a lot of people and doing this process with them. And some of the things that have been coming out was like, oh, I don't want to be homeless. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to lose everything. And these kind of beliefs have a whole story that's connected to them. So what's coming up for you? Maybe it's you're feeling anxious about your health or anxious about other people. And so you've got about a minute, everybody. Keep writing. And just trust your unconscious mind. The first information that comes up is the stuff that we're looking for. And so you're writing a list of 5 to 10. And remember, this is not past stuff. This is stuff that's in the future. Stuff that you're worried about in the future that hasn't happened yet. And maybe you've been obsessing over this. And so you're writing a list 5 to 10. And then next to each one that you put on the list, I want you to write down, well, what's the emotion next to it? So just write 1 or 2 words. Is it fear? Is it anxiety? What is it? What's the emotion that's coming up? And so you've got a list of 5 to 10, then you're going back through the list and going, well, okay, what emotion is this? And 1 to 2 words describing that emotion. And you've got about 30 seconds, everybody. And as you're writing this list and you're looking at the emotions, or noticing, sorry, the emotions that are coming up, I want you to think, out of this entire list, which is the big one? Which is the number one? Which is the story that you've been obsessing over that is taking up the most amount of energy? Now, the wonderful thing about doing this process by just writing it out is you get it out of your unconscious. That's why journal writing is very, very powerful. But this technique specifically, you get all of these stories out of your head on the paper, and then we can start to observe it in a different way. We can start to shift it to create your future. So I want you to work out the number one. The number one out of that list. I know there's probably a couple that are similar, but just trust your unconscious mind and circle the number one. The number one thing that you're anxious about, worried about, that you've been obsessing over, that's taking up all of your energy, and circling that. And just type in the chat, yes, if you've done that. Awesome. Well done, everybody. All right, let's get into the process. So I want you to make sure that you're in a comfortable position. Turn the music up, everybody, or sorry, turn the volume up so you can hear me. And make sure you're not going to be distracted. I need you for about 5 minutes to do this process. Okay, so you may need to turn your mobile phone off or tell your family, I need some space right now, and we're going to do a bit of a meditation. And let's shift this anxiety and have you tap into a new level of creativity. So what I want you to do is just shut your eyes, take a deep breath in and out. And I want you to think about that number one thing that you feel anxious about. And as you think about that, do you have a picture? And if you don't, it's okay. It could be a feeling. It could be a sound. And I want you to think, what specifically are you feeling anxious about? What is it about this story? And again, as you think about it, you may have a picture, or it could be a sound or a feeling. I want you to think in the future, when do you think this is going to happen? Is it 6 months in the future? Is it 3 months in the future? A week in the future? A year in the future? Just think about that. And as you get that picture, you may want to see yourself in the picture, or notice the feeling or the sound, and notice when you think it's going to happen. And I want you to imagine now, actively imagine just floating out of your body and floating really, really high. And I want you to float out into the future. And as you float out into the future, I want you to go all the way out into the future. And I want you to pass this event and move past this event and actually notice it. And as you go out all the way into the future, past this event, maybe it's a week after this event, a month after this event, 6 months after this event, I want you to now build a picture of the successful outcome. Build a feeling of the successful outcome. What would you hear if it was a successful outcome? So imagine yourself, maybe it's a week, maybe it's a month, maybe it's 3 months, 6 months, a year after this event. And now what I want you to do is you see yourself, hear yourself, feel yourself in that experience, a successful completion of it. I want you to turn around and face back towards now. And so as you turn back towards now, you can see your journey. And then you may notice this kind of thing you're anxious about. What if it was there to teach you something? What if you were there to learn about this wound? What if you were here to unlock the opposite energy, which is this thing is designed to grow you, to shift your consciousness, to have you move to creativity. Like the opposite of fear is certainty and courage. The opposite of anxiety is excitement. And so what if this was to help grow you? What if this whole experience is about you becoming a leader right now? And what if all of this stuff, this thinking, is preparing you? And I want you to just see the entire journey and notice the entire journey of you shifting and growing, of you starting to create a bigger picture, of you realizing that maybe it's time to take a leadership position. And instead of running away from the wounds, you're facing them. And notice the successful completion now of who you've become, the leader that you've become. And because maybe you've got conscious, you've decided to work on this stuff. You've started to face it. You've worked with a team, a tribe of mentors, and you've shifted. And as you look back towards now and you notice your journey, just check, is the anxiety there or has it dropped? You may find that it has dropped. I want you to take a deep breath in and come back to now, everybody. And as you come back to now, just imagine the smell of popcorn as it wakes you up right now. So take a deep breath in and out. I want you to stand up, shake it all out, everybody. And then sit back down. Now what I want you to do is let me know, how are you feeling? One word. How are you feeling? Type it in the chat. Let me know where you're at. Calm, awesome. Lighter, relaxed, hungry, relieved, content, fucking awesome, clear. How fast was that, everybody? That was so quick. Now, I have this recording for you guys as well. It's part of our elite leaders stuff that we'll talk about. But how powerful is that? So imagine you could go through that list and just knock off every single one of those things that you're feeling anxious about. Because what happens is that when you get rid of that anxiety, you feel peace because you come back to now. The now position is where you feel peace. But then what happens is that we start to tap into a new level of creativity. So next thing that we're going to do is we're going to set a breakout goal. And this is what I do with my troublemakers. So you'll see on the page next to you, we've got to start to work out. We're going to use these situations to create everybody. So the breakout goal has a number of different components. The breakout is like a breakout in you. What is a breakout in you in terms of leadership at the moment? Okay, so think of the next 6 months. I've set the next 6 months because it gives us a good little time frame at the moment. Now, breakout to me is like when it comes on a personal development level, it's when you break your own rules, your own limitations. It's like you make trouble, everybody. And this is what I say to our troublemakers: create a disruption to create an eruption of opportunities. So the breakout is like, okay, there's all of this stuff that's happening at the moment. In the past, maybe you're stuck in wounded state, paralyzed, or whatever it is, avoiding, running away. But what if you're like, nah, I'm going to break out of those patterns. I'm going to break out and I'm going to get access to the opposite polarity. So what's the opposite of anger? It's like peace. What's the opposite of sadness? Is happiness. The opposite of hurt is kind of love and acceptance. The opposite of guilt is that self-worth, the ability to receive love, the ability to receive wealth. The opposite of fear is that certainty, that courage. Okay, and the opposite of anxiety, as we said before, is that excitement. So imagine your job is to face the wounds, to break out of those wounds, to get access to those new emotional states. So what do you need to break out of to be the best leader that you can be in the next 6 months? And I want you to write it down. So this is like imagining, who are you becoming? And that's what I did. I was like running excellence now, NLP practitioner training, and I had this incredible dream that I was like, everything I've learned is for this moment. What I need to do is I need to build a tribe. I need to get everyone together. I need to get all the light workers together so that we can shift together from wounded self, best version, and as fast as possible, get together into that mission level so that we can create. And I'm like, well, how can I do this? What needs to change about me? Well, I need to start sharing a message more. I need to get out there. I need to go and serve even more. I need to share everything. So what is it that you need to do to break out to be the best leader that you can be? Now, I suppose the inkling is often to look at what you've been avoiding, everybody. When I sit down with business owners, it's really easy to grow their business. I go, tell me the 5 things that you're avoiding. Okay. And the top 2, we've just got to get you to do those. We're going to stop the war inside, okay, and get you to do those things. So what do you need to break out of to be the best leader that you can be? Write it down in detail, okay? And what does it look like as you as a leader? What's different about your communication? What's different about your psychology? What's different about your behavior? Okay, and 6 months in the future, create that picture. And maybe it's connected to that picture that you just did with the anxiety process, which is, who are you becoming? The next one is this. When we change the internal, what we're going to see is the external starts to reflect that. So you've shifted inside. You've shifted your ability to communicate. You've shifted your confidence, your certainty. You've tapped into a new level of creativity. Well, what are you going to see externally? What's the results going to be around your health or relationships? What's the results going to be around your business or career? For some of you, it's like, okay, I'm going to take a leadership position. I'm going to create. I'm going to become an entrepreneur. I'm going to work out, what are the wounds that I've overcome that I can share with people? And it might be that you're like, okay, I'm going to start coaching people as a starting point until I get the learnings. Then I'm going to start to run virtual workshops. I'm going to help people as quickly as possible. So what is it for you? Okay, it could be a money thing. If it's a money thing, write it down. Like in the next 6 months, you being an entrepreneur, how much have you created in this new world? Okay, or is it around health, relationships? What is the things maybe you've been putting off? And so imagine you become this incredible leader. What are the results that you see, hear, and feel? And be really specific, everybody. Remember, definite demands create definite results. Okay, so you've got 30 seconds. Keep writing it down. Okay, it doesn't need to be perfect. Write for the waste paper bin, everybody. Whatever comes up, just write it down. Number 3, and this is where we move to the mission side, everybody. Okay, how can you shine a light to others in this crisis? So you can see the top one is, what's the wounds like we need to break out of? Okay, what is the result that you get? This is like best version. And then how can you shine a light? This is a mission. When we handle the basic stresses, we have the opportunity to shine a light. And that's what I feel that I'm here to do for you guys right now, is to bring you together, to be able to shine a light and to provide this environment for you to maybe set things up in a way where it could be incredible. Like, this could be the greatest time for coaching. This could be the greatest time for virtual workshops ever. Because what's happening at the moment is, like, people are kind of stuck in this shock, this paralysis at the moment, but reality is going to set in. And when reality sets in, people are going to need help. They're going to need support. They're going to need to change, and they're going to need to change very, very quickly. So what does that mean? If you're an NLP practitioner, if you're a coach, if you're a change maker, if you're a parent and studying this stuff, it is so important. Now is the time for leadership. It's time for the passionate entrepreneurs to shine a light. The light workers, it's time for you. So how can you shine a light to others in this crisis? How can you shine a light? And maybe it's you've overcome stuff in the next 6 months, and then as you've overcome that, now it's time to share. It's time to share how you got that result. Okay, so I want you to write it down and just type a yes if you've finished, everybody. Awesome. So I want you to take a deep breath in now. And as you take a deep breath in, we're going to do another visualization process. And this is to install the goal into your unconscious mind, everybody. So I want you to shut your eyes, take a deep breath in and out. And as you shut your eyes, I want you to imagine this 6-month breakout goal. And imagine it's like September. And we're going to add all of the representational systems in here. What do you see? What you would hear? What you would feel? So just imagine 6 months in the future, you've broken out to be the best leader you can be. You've used this opportunity. You've used this opportunity to work on you. All the stuff you've avoided, now you're not. Okay, you've studied. You've worked with the best coaches. Whatever it is, you've used this opportunity to be able to create. You've broken out, and now see the result. See the specific result, whether it's an income result, it's a result around your health, or results around your relationships. See it, feel it, and hear it in detail. And now I want you to float into it. Just imagine floating into that 6-month self. Look through your eyes, see what you would see, hear what you would hear, and feel. And as you do that, I want you to build it. Just build the energy. You're about a 5 out of 10 at the moment. Just take it to a 6. Take it to a 7. Make the picture brighter, the sounds louder. Hear your self-talk. Maybe you hear the voices of other people that you're helping. Okay, take it to a 7. Take it to an 8. Take it to a 9, and double it as you take it to a 10. And just click your fingers, everybody, as you take another deep breath in. And again, just intensify it and click your fingers again as a little reminder for you. Now what I want you to do is step out of that picture and imagine it's now a vision board, okay? And some of you that have done Live It Now, you know what the vision boards are. And imagine there's this just big board, metaphorically speaking, and you can see yourself as a leader. You can see the results that you're getting, and you can see how you're contributing to others. And imagine you just hold on to that vision, okay? And as you hold on to that vision, again, I want you to shut your eyes, make the pictures brighter, make the sounds louder, the feeling stronger. And I want you to imagine, how would you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you've achieved it? Get to that end frame. And I want you to float up above your timeline, take a deep breath in and exhale. And then I want you to float out to the 6-month position. And as you float out to the 6-month position, I want you to drop that picture in. And as you drop that picture into your future timeline, 6 months into the future, it floats down like a feather. It locks into place. You hear the sound of a Tupperware container snapping shut. And then turn around and face back towards now. And as you face back towards now, notice your journey. And as you notice this, maybe you decided you're going to take a leadership position. Notice that point. Maybe you decided you're going to work on yourself. You're going to turn your wounds into your superpowers. Maybe you decided, right, I'm going to get a team. I'm going to find a tribe of mentors. I'm going to hang out with them weekly. And notice you just started to create. You started to just get out there and serve. And that's the first phase. You just went out and helped. You made a difference. You connected with people. And then suddenly it starts to evolve, and you start to evolve. And so take a deep breath in. Notice the journey as you come back to now. And as you come back to now, take a deep breath in and out and click your fingers, everybody. And as you click your fingers, that's a useful little anchor that I've given you right now to remind you of this 6-month breakout goal. So if ever you're kind of stuck in that uncertainty or anxiety, all you've got to do is click your fingers. And suddenly you'll get reconnected back to that breakout goal. So typing in the chat, everybody, how are you feeling? One word right now. Fireworks. Love it, Lucy. Excited, Adriana. Wonderful, energized, confident, motivated, amazing, calmer, excited. So now I want to share with you what we just did. Notice we got rid of the anxiety, and then everyone said, now I'm feeling peaceful, calmer, okay, more neutral, relaxed. But now notice the responses here. People are feeling motivated, ready to go, excited, creative, exhilarated. So these are new emotions. Remember I said the opposite of anxiety, everybody, is excited, okay? And look at what we've got here. You're tapping into a new level of creativity right now. So what I want to do is just share with you just quickly some things that we have for you. And then I'm going to bring up my amazing mentor, Mr. Michael Adamides. Can you believe I did a training with Michael almost 20 years ago? And my mum and I were in that course. And, you know, like I was a little shit growing up. And I put my mum through quite a bit. I was a troublemaker. And we didn't have the greatest relationship back then. And Michael did this training. It was incredible. And there was a Gestalt process where you had to talk to the parent where you had an issue with, and like imagine your parent was there. And so there's 50 people in this room, and there was like this, you had to draw it out of a hat. And my mum's there, I'm there, and we're not on the best of terms at that point. And of course, out of 50 people, when it came to talking to your mother, I pulled out my mum out of 50 people. So I'm in Michael's course. I'm looking at my mum in the eyes going, I hate you because of this and this and this. And it was profound. It was actually a profound experience. And we became like best friends after that experience. And that's what Michael is able to help people do, is to be able to shift those wounds at an energetic, at a spiritual level, and really connect you with your soul. And so Michael is coming up, everybody. But before that, I just want to share with you some next steps. And so you guys know me. I think you know what I stand for, what I've wanted to do in this industry. I've wanted to create a company that stands for integrity, that stands for really helping people, and actually helping people, not by just motivating you and then letting you go. That's why, you know, I have lifetime resets on our courses, because I know you can't just get it like straight away. It's why I run Live It Now. That is a very, very expensive training. And a lot of business coaches say to me it's commercial suicide, but I keep doing it. I keep showing up and I keep making a difference, because it's the information I need to hear. I haven't got it all handled, everybody. And so it reminds me every time we run Live It Now, I'm like, yep, I need to be doing that. But it also, my dad lives on. My dad lives on. His story lives on. And his story has helped change the lives of so many people. The secret to life is giving. When I talk to people, when they say, you know, what is your superpower, Matt? And they say to me, well, you're real. You create a really safe environment for people. You genuinely want to help people. And I hope that comes across. I really, really hope that comes across. I wanted to disrupt this industry. I wanted to do the opposite. I wanted to create something that you know was special. And I hope you guys feel that. I've put together a bit of a program at the moment, and I know that, there's so much uncertainty in the world at the moment. And for a lot of people that I've been speaking to, I've asked this question, like, when you look in the mirror, like, how do you feel? Do you feel that that you're where you want to be? Do you wish that you were more prepared? And for a lot of people, they're saying, "Oh my God, I wish I did this. I wish I had this in place. I wish I'd organized this, or I wished I'd launched that business and I'd worked on my cash flow. I wish I was in a safer position that I could help other people." And so from all of the people that I've been connecting to, I've decided to put together something that I think is incredible. I've decided to bring in my leaders, the people that work with me, together, the light workers, and to come together and shine a light in this time. And these are people that are really incredible. And a lot of the mentors are here on this call, which is Michael Adamides, Miranda, my mum, obviously me. But there are other mentors that I have that are incredible in business, that have hit a billionaire level, and they've done it through creativity, typically through crises. People that are incredible when it comes to wealth, people that are incredible that when it comes to exercise. One guy, Ben, who runs our Ultimate Life Recharge, I'm convincing him at the moment to come along and teach everyone his subtle six. So I'm not sure if Ben's on the call at the moment, but if he is, I'm going to make sure that he's going to be part of it. But we want you to spend the next 90 days to be able to become the best version of you. We want you to be able to spend some time with people that are at the mission phase and really shift. And so the objective is in the next 90 days that we can support you to shift from wounded state to best version and set things up for you to be able to shine a light and play a mission. And this is what a lot of my clients have been coming to me and saying, how do we spend more time with you? That's what I did when it came to my business back in 2008. I called my coaches. I'm like, no, I need to see you weekly. I need to work on myself even more. I need to double down. And see, the thing about it also is at the moment, guys, like, now is the time to be investing and spending. A lot of stuff is on wholesale at the moment, but we also need to keep the economy moving at the moment. So the worst thing that we can be doing is paralyzed and isolating ourselves. So we put together what we call the Elite Leaders Mastermind Group. It's a 90-day program, and we catch up weekly on a Tuesday. You have me facilitating it, and then you have my mentors coming in. And so imagine that, having an injection of me and my team every single week, talking to people that are playing an incredible game and really getting their blueprint. One of the things that I love about mastermind groups is like the return on time is unbelievable, because when you're learning from someone that is getting results, like, you fast track it. It saves you years, 10 years. And so imagine being around people on all of those areas, around mindset, around health, around wealth, around entrepreneurialism, all of these things. And I think the most important thing is that we all come together as a group. We come, and that's a wonderful thing about masterminds as well, is the people that you meet are unbelievable. They become lifelong friends. You share resources. You give your best bits of information, because that's how we set it up. And then you can rapidly move through this crisis in a way that is very, very exciting. On top of that, of the weekly sessions, I decided, right, I'm going to put together a 90-day coaching package where our master coaches can get in there and release any anxiety or wounds that are coming up, can help you get a specific breakout plan, to plan it, to hold you accountable. So imagine that. You've got me every week, my mentors, you've got one-on-one coaching, and then what we've included in this is what's called the Immunity Booster Program. And this is an immunity package where you get an immunity check-in with my mum. You get these incredibly powerful herbs. They're like 10 times stronger than what you can get off the shelf. Plus, we put together a meal plan. So imagine that. You've got the immunity booster supplementation, plus you've got this incredible meal plan. Now, imagine what that is going to do for your immune system, your energy, but not only just you, also your family. And this is what we need leaders to be able to do. We need to get you right. We need to boost your immunity, and so that you can shine a light for other people. I've also put together a hypnosis mindset package. A lot of people are not sleeping at the moment that I've been talking to. So I've created a deep sleep meditation. that is going to get you into like the, the alpha delta phases of the sleep. Sleep is so important when it comes to healing the body. A lot of chronic illnesses are now connected to a lack of sleep. So we want to help you be able to get into those deeper levels of sleep. But also I've put together like a healing anxiety meditation so that it really gets your unconscious mind to start working on your immunity, to releasing any stresses that are coming up, and to really condition that mindset of focusing on what you want. So imagine you started to listen to this stuff every day. Imagine you're taking your herbs morning and night. You've shifted your diet plan. Imagine you're catching up with me weekly, with my health experts, my entrepreneurs, the people that are playing the biggest game in this country. You've got your one-on-one coaching package. Imagine that. This is going to help you not just survive this experience, it's going to help you thrive. Now, I've put together this package, and again, I know times are tough, and we put this together in a way that we just want to help everyone. And so if you can afford like $20 a week, you can do this package, everybody. How amazing is that? If you're in a situation where you're in significant challenge right now, we have got partial scholarships and in some cases, full scholarships. We are here to help everybody. We want to get you through this. This is a program that I think, investing a little bit will have you commit. But I think this program and my team, like if you do this, it's going to be pretty incredible for you guys. So in order to get access to this, what you need to do is go to this link, and we'll bring it up on the screen now. And that is the Troublemakers Consulting. So I know some of you are troublemakers on this call. So it's the troublemakersconsulting.com elite leaders. Now, if you go to this link, and you can do it now if you want to, there is an application form. So you don't have to put any money down or anything like that. There is an application form. We want you to fill out that application form, and we want to see if you're the right fit for this, because we want light workers in this. We want leaders, and we want to help you transition from wounded self to best version, and to really tap into that mission. So if you look at the application form here, you're going to put your first name, your last name, your email address, your phone number, your biggest challenge right now. What is your breakout goal that you set in this training? We want to hear what your breakout goal is. And why should we pick you to join the Elite Mastermind group? So if you're going through a challenge in there, put the challenge in there. If you need help, write as much information as you possibly can. The link is, Maria, the link is on your manual, should be on your manual on almost every page. But the link, we'll go back to the link right now. And the link is the Troublemakers, everybody, the troublemakersconsulting.com elite leaders. And so fill out that form if you're interested in. We'll have a chat with you. We'll give you all of the details. What do you think about this? On the chat, let me know what you think. Are you excited about this? I'm really excited about it. I've set it up in a way that everyone can do it. Everyone can get the support, and we can move together to get through this. So I'm words of affirmation, everybody. Please tell me what you think. Awesome, amazing. Okay, one person thinks it's amazing. Excited to start, Alison. Thank you. Thank you. Great. Miranda, love it. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, everybody. That was my little pitch, or the opportunity that we've put together for you to get through this. And I think if you take advantage of this, and especially if you grab my mum's immunity booster program, it's really going to get you through this. Unfortunately, we don't have a massive supply of it. So we've allocated it for this Elite Leaders program. And so those that join this, you'll get first dibs at my mum's elixir that she's worked on over the last 30 to 40 years. And it is amazing. I think everyone needs to get on it. And so I hope you guys take advantage of it. So make sure you grab that link and fill it out, and we'll be in contact in the next week or so. And if you're sitting there and you're going through a challenge, please don't let that hold you back. Don't let your wounds hold you back, everybody. Remember, if you make decisions from your wounds, you will repeat them. Okay, and we can work with wherever you are. It's a virtual workshop that we're going to be running. We can send the herbs to you wherever you are, and Mum can do that check-in. So anyway, that is the opportunity that I wanted to share with everybody. and I really hope you do. So now, without further ado, I've probably taken up too much time here at the moment, but I am going to bring up a crisis plan for you. I was about to introduce Michael, but no, we need to do the crisis plan, everybody. So let's do that first. So a new page in your book. Now, what I want you to do is reconnect to the goal, everybody. So think of that breakout goal, the next 6 months, who you're going to become. Click your fingers to get back there, the anchor that we created. And we're going to do a bit of a crisis plan. And this is what I've been doing with a lot of my troublemakers, a lot of my clients at the moment is a crisis plan. And I always expect the best, but sometimes we've got a plan for some challenges. And we want to get you started on a bit of a crisis plan. So if you open up your books or a new sheet in your notepad, let's begin, everybody. So next page. Okay, and so on this page, you'll see there's 5 spots. I want you to just jot down 5 things that you can do right now. 5 things that you can do to be able to take action towards this objective. So reconnect to that 90-day breakout goal, everybody. And remember, the breakout goal is where you need to be in the next 6 months. Okay, the type of leader that you're breaking out to. And then notice the result. And the result, because you've become that leader, when you change the internal, you shift the external. And so by shifting you, by working on you, here we go. By working on you, you'll see all of these results that are happening. So the question is this: what are 5 things you need to do now to get to that position? Do you need to work on your mindset? Do you need to get out of wounded self as fast as possible, build certainty inside, tap into a new level of creativity? Okay, do you need to work with a team? Do you need to limit your exposure to wounded people at the moment? And that might be turning off the news and, still watch the news, but maybe limiting your exposure to it, limiting your exposure to people that are stuck in their wounds unless they're willing to work on it. Do you need to surround yourself with a tribe of leaders, everybody? That's the key. That's what fast tracks you to the mission level, is when you surround yourself with people that are playing the mission level. Do you need to work out a detailed plan? Like if you're a business owner at the moment, we need to chat with you. You need a crisis plan. You need to expect the best, absolutely, and obsess over opportunities. But at the same time, you've got to be realistic. You've got to have a crisis plan. You've got to have milestones at the moment. That if you hit these certain markers, you make this decision. The big problem with a lot of business owners is that they avoid making decisions, or they hold on to things, hold on to potentially people, or they hold on to things that are not working for too long. So you've got to have a plan, and you need to be held accountable to that plan. So this is where getting coaching and a support system like that is crucially important. And what's really important, if you are looking at getting coaches or mentors at the moment, they can't be emotionally involved, everybody. Like, it can't be your boss. It can't be your best friend. It can't be your mum. It can't be your dad. You need to have someone that is objective. It needs to be a professional arrangement as well, because that will give you the leverage to shift. Do you need to use this opportunity to upskill everybody? Is this your time to learn? Is this your time to look at the things that you're avoiding and actually do those? Is this the time where you got your health right? Is this the time where you improve your relationships? And that's a wonderful thing. We're kind of stuck indoors. It gives us an opportunity to connect with our loved ones. And I think that's a gift of this, is it's getting us off the material and into the things that matter most. What else do you need to do? The top 5 things that you need to do right now. What's really important is when you set a breakout goal, you install it into your unconscious mind, you got to do stuff immediately. So what I want you to do is, a couple of people, I want you to write in the chat, what's the number 1 thing you're going to do today? So I want to hear from you guys. What's the number 1 thing you are going to do today? Be positive. Awesome. Now, Jeff, when it comes to being positive, you need a strategy, okay? Get to the gym, a detailed plan. Awesome. Suzanne, stop procrastinating. What's the opposite of procrastinating? So what are you actually going to do? If you focus on procrastination, then that's what you'll experience. Commit. Awesome. The first pillar of change that we share with you at Live It Now is commit. And that's what this is forcing people to do is like commit, to show up. No exits. For some of you, yeah, it's building that side hustle, everybody. Okay? Upskilling, learning. What if this is the greatest opportunity? I believe it. This is the greatest opportunity for coaches right now. There is a cycle that happens. It's like a 10 to 12 year cycle. And it's like you have the property experts that are sharing their stuff, then the trading experts, and you see them presenting everywhere. And then you have the entrepreneurs pop up, and it's all about, the entrepreneurial consulting and all that type of stuff. And that's what's been happening now. What happens is typically a crisis. Then everyone turns to NLP. Everyone turns to coaching. So there is a wave coming, everybody. If you're a coach, if you're an NLP practitioner, if you're a consultant that can help people actually get results, there's a wave coming. We need light workers at the moment. And this is what this is about. So again, if you're interested in our leaders, make sure you grab the opportunity, okay? Do the application process. We'll see if you're a fit. We also have new versions of our accelerated coach program, our accelerated speaker program. We've wiped the price off that stuff as well. So if you're interested in that, please let us know. But what I'd like to do right now is say thank you so much for listening to me.